All right, guys, hear me out first before you shoot me down. G'day, guys. Welcome back to the Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate. I'm your host, Mark, and thank you once again for checking out another video. Guys, I hope you had a great 4th of July over the weekend. Hope you guys celebrated your happy Independence Day. Like myself and Owen said, we just wished you guys had the best time, barbecues, friends, family, all that stuff. However, today I'm going to talk about something maybe controversial. I'm not too sure because I'll give you my thoughts on Claypool and what I think for him in this offense and how I think he needs to get better. Actually like maturity-wise too. But the question is today is, did the Pittsburgh Steelers sign George Pickens to replace Chase Claypool? Now, we all know this famous image with, with George Pickens. And that's my cheesy graphic there that I made, right? It's nothing special. But the point is, George Pickens watched himself get picked in the 2022 NFL draft. Chase Claypool came out in the 2022 NFL draft for the Pittsburgh Steelers and announced George Pickens receiver round 2. Now, the question is, did Chase Claypool announce George Pickens to be his future successor? So did the Pittsburgh Steelers do this on purpose? Did the NFL do this on purpose? Is there a reason why that Chase Claypool went out there and announced a receiver, maybe to take his job? That is a question that I'm asking today. And I want to look into the player profile, or who stands up, if it was a tail of the tape. Both fellas are pretty similar, right? And I want to point out one difference at the end. So we have the height, 6'4", 240 pounds, 23, Notre Dame, round 2, pick 49 in 2020. And then 2 years later in 2022, round 2, pick 52, Georgia, 21 years old, 6'3", and 200 pounds. The only key difference I see in these two players so far is possibly their physical nature, right? Look how staunch George Pickens is in this photo. And I will agree that there has to be, that's the Georgia, when he's going to college. And I guess Chase Claypool was smiling for a Pittsburgh, photo. And that's not a big argument. I'm not saying it's a massive argument. I'm just saying, when you look at these two fellas, George Pickens looks more staunch. And in game tape, you can even see that. However, the bigger body here is Chase Claypool. We all know that Chase Claypool is the bigger receiver, maybe possibly more talented, but he just doesn't show it on the field. I just haven't seen it yet. So, yeah, with those two blokes, they're very similar. But is there a reason? The big question I've been thinking the last few days and going over this question is, why did the Pittsburgh Steelers go and draft another receiver round 2 years later, when they already got a guy like Claypool? And also the Steelers brought in Miles Boykin as well, who is similar height to these fellas too. So is there a chance that Chase Claypool is on the chopping block? Possibility, right? Possibility. So my thoughts to this question, guys, and I want to hear your thoughts. Was Pickens chosen to replace Chase Claypool in the next few years? Maybe not next year, but maybe the year after Chase Claypool going into 2024 will be his last season. Claypool has 2 more years to go. And I'll be honest, I'm not a big fan so far. I'm really not a big fan of the first 2 years. Yes, he came out swinging in 2020 with those 11 touchdowns, and we won 11 games in a row. And then he famously said, losing, never heard of her, right? I had this belief that Chase Claypool is building a brand that he's choosing to build his brand. I'm not overly against that. We all do that in business. I'm doing that right now with my mate Owen on the Pittsburgh Steelers Syndicate. But what I'm saying is, he's building his brand bigger than what he's doing with the Steelers. I think Chase Claypool is choosing the social media life, that brand, to be bigger and more important role than the Steelers. I appreciate what he did in 2020 with the 11 touchdowns. He had a bad year in 2021. But what I don't really appreciate is I don't find Chase Claypool just yet being a true Steeler. And I've talked about it before. To me, a true Steeler is James Farrior, Hines Ward, Lynn Swan, Mean Joe Green, James Debo, Troy Polamalu. Minka Fitzpatrick is turning into a true Steeler. TJ Watt, true Steeler. I don't see that with Chase Claypool. He really, to me, has 2 more years to wake up in a Steeler sense. A lot of fans out there just want Chase Claypool to go out there and be physical and just ball, be one of the best receivers, but we're just not seeing that. What I saw last year in 2021 with that Vikings game, and I'm still so annoyed about it, he went out there, celebrated, and he's all about me. All about me, me, me. First point down, he wasted about 10, 11 seconds. Trey Turner ran over, trying, get him back to the huddle. He then yelled at Trey Turner for saying, "What are you doing? Like, why? It's not my problem." It was your problem. Take some accountability for that. So I think with this question, was Pickens drafted to replace Chase Claypool? I think ultimately, yes, I do. I think that, and there's a reason why Claypool came out and announced his pick too, which is even funnier. Having Pickens there this year, we know we're going to see some physical nature. He's a dog, as they say, right? He's out there. He's going to be physical. He's going to be a bowler. He's going to create havoc. And I'm hoping that Pickens can have a good connection with Trubisky, go out there on the field, and then show the Steelers and Claypool, hey, I'm number 2. I'm the number 2 receiver, or I'm number 1 receiver, right? He could be pushing for number 1. There's also a chance that Deontay Johnson won't be here next year either. So this is a good pick for all counts. It tells Chase Claypool to wake up and start playing some Pittsburgh Steelers football. Get off your TikTok and go play Pittsburgh Steelers football. And it's a good opportunity for Pickens to go out there and prove himself that he can be number 1. So to the question, was Pickens drafted to replace Chase Claypool? Let me know in the comments below. I think ultimately yes. I think yes. Maybe not next year, maybe the year after. But I want to have one last note, right? I want both players to succeed. I want the Pittsburgh Steelers to succeed, right? I want Chase Claypool to go out there and have the best career that he can. However, to me, you're just not showing it yet. You're more about yourself than you are the team. And I think that needs to change. You're building your big brand on TikTok. You have over 2 million subscribers or people on TikTok. You're more about that lifestyle than you are building your career, your Hall of Fame career with the Pittsburgh Steelers. As a fan, I want to see the players, of course, succeed in all elements of life. Of course, exceed in all elements of life. But I want to see you succeed on the football field and become one of the best Steelers you can. There's a chance that when you get drafted, you have a big opportunity to be drafted by the team and go into the Hall of Fame, right? The only person stopping you from doing that is yourself. And I think Chase Claypool is stopping himself from doing that. He's talented, he's skillful, he's massive, he's a big dude, right? But I think he's holding himself back and distracting himself a bit too much with his TikToks, Rick Rocks, or whatever it is. So there's a big chance that George Pickens in the next 2 years takes over the reins and becomes a number 1 or number 2, or takes Chase Claypool's spot. Thanks, guys. I'll see you later.